thank you for joining us tonight on this November 13, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. We are happy to be here with you tonight. And we also want to thank all of our veterans that we have in the fleet. Veterans Day was just this past Saturday, so we want to congratulate all of the veterans in the fleet, say thank you. We appreciate you all, and we're happy that you're here with us tonight.
Thank you, Myra. Yes, again, yes, thank you. Thank you, the heroes that fought for liberty. Thank you so much for all your sacrifice. And obviously, we're here because of y'all. So we do honor you. We appreciate you. Yes, and we're very grateful that we have quite a few veterans within our fleet. Mm-hmm. So, yes, just one more time. And yes, as far as the topic goes, I really am excited about today because the big questions or the big things that we're all asking during this time, I have them on the screen here. Nate, can you please show it? But I was very fascinated by this book that I just recently found. My wife actually found this for me because you know how I would say for probably a little over a year now, when the market started to go down, I would say, hey, you know, these cycles, all these cycles. And, you know, I'm pretty sure that it happened before I was born, but I don't know because I couldn't prove it. But, you know, someday I will. And guess what? Today I have one of the proofs, okay? This is probably some very, I don't know, sometimes even freaky because of how you know, I guess... Accurate, yes. Yes, how accurate it is to some degree. And why? So a lot of the times I was asked, you know, why are the freight prices move? You know, why do they really change? And some of y'all said, well, it must be fuel prices. It must be negotiating skills, you know. Maybe it's the broker price manipulation or customer price manipulation, you know. Maybe politics or elections. And then government policies. All of those things is true in some ways. They do, you know, influence the rates. But if you remember from those previous, you know, what were the number one, okay, the main one. And this book by Banners, I mean, it's a classic. It was written in 1876. Okay, obviously this is a copy because I don't have such an old book with me, but 1876. And he actually based it off of his experience in the last 20 years, specifically his business experience in 20 years, you know, as a farmer and as a businessman. And then also based on statistics that started from 1800. And he literally predicted this stuff, what's going to happen today in 2023. Yeah, so let's get to the topic, right? I'm really excited about this, but I do want to give you guys some warning, okay? Because disclosure, yes. Because when I was reading this book, okay, when I was going through this, I was as I was preparing, yes, I was excited, but I was also freaked out a little bit because I'm not really known to go into the conspiracy theory type of stuff. And I try to kind of be like, you know, I read what's out there and stuff like that, but like, okay, I want to be careful with this. Like, is this really real? And then the detail, and to read this book, the thing that he is saying is it's not that he has a prophecy, some kind of, you know, voodoo or none of that. Like, it's no magic here, okay? He basically says or states that it all has to do with the natural Earth solar cycles. Like, you know, solar eclipse, everything has cycles. Everything that is has cycles, okay? That's what he says. Like the Earth has a whole bunch of cycles, weather has patterns, everything has patterns, right? And he basically runs this with math, statistics and math. And I had to like really focus to understand what this guy is talking about, some of this stuff, because all of it is just gibberish if you just read it, and unless you really like numbers, which I love math, I love numbers. To me, when I do coding, I let somebody else do all the design stuff because it's just too much for me. Like all those little things. To me, I love formulas, okay? So when I was reading this, I'm like, is it seriously that simple? Like, is it really just the formula, statistics, math? Is it really that simple? And, again, remember that this was written in 1876, okay? And, so when I'm going through this, I'm like, what is the reason? And he basically claims that there is this rule. It's an average rule, or they call it a cast iron rule. And I'm just going to quote from the book specifically. Okay, please settle down. I mean, I'm telling you, like, this is very, very fascinating, very interesting, and I have a point. So just bear with me. But he talks about that a cast iron rule on the screen is one extreme invariable follows another, as can be witnessed in all the operations of nature, in all the business affairs of man, and in all the ramifications of trade and industry, and in every cycle of average prices. So, to the plain English, basically, it's saying that, yes, this is a farmer. Yes, he specifically, as a businessman, he had, he was buying and selling pig iron, hogs, corn, all the different provisions. But it really works for every cycle of average prices. Okay, so that was really interesting. And then he makes this bold statement, okay, saying that when it comes to rule of average, nothing is more important than supply and demand. Nothing moves the needle, or nothing moves the market like supply and demand does. And basically, he's talking about with statistics and going into details back of when it comes to wars, when it comes to panic, when it comes to elections, anything, any one of those things that we just listed, literally, every single one of those things, they do play into it. They do make the prices maybe more higher when it's going higher, or more lower when it's going lower, but it's not going to change the trajectory. And that is the main point of this book, okay? It's not going to change the general yearly course of the prices. And I'm really, really excited about this, because this means, with everything that's going on right now, you have war in Ukraine, war in Israel. I mean, there's so many things that's going on when it comes to panic. There's so many things. I mean, COVID-19 was a panic. I mean, there's so many things that has happened and probably will happen. Nobody really knows the future. But the rule of average says that, or the cast iron rule, that on average, it will always still continue on its pathway, on its course, in the same direction that it was. And another thing that he says in the book, in the very beginning, he says that back in 1876, there were two major problems with predicting the prices. Back then, two problems. One was weather. It was very, very hard to get weather report, and you can only get weather from Washington, D.C., about around, for the whole U.S. that was at that time, and it will only tell you 24 hours future. So, I mean, not enough time, obviously, to know what kind of crops to grow, what kind of commodity to invest. So the idea is, he says, when in the future, okay, in the future, when we will be able to predict the weather, that's when, you know, it's going to be really, really good to be a businessman. It's going to be very easy. And I'm like, really? I'm like, well, I'm here today. Nothing easy about it, okay? But he claims, you know, when that time comes, oh, you know, I can only imagine. And today, as you can see on the screen here, you can see, I mean, there's predictions, weather.com, there's channels for this. I mean, you got so much data. Today, they can pretty much tell us, you know, what kind of precipitation outlook is going to be for next year. I mean, there's actually some subscriptions that can tell you very, very far. It has to do with how all the patterns in the world works. I mean, there's quite a few sensors around the whole world that this could be easily predicted today. And, you know, just in here, you can see this is for this winter. And if I wanted to, I could pull up more, but it can give you the approximately what to look out for. And actually, I'm sure that, you know, there's a lot of tools and resources for the farmers today and for the, you know, to be able to predict better, you know, what would work this year. So anyway, I just thought, okay, let's keep going. So then the second thing that he says is whenever in the future, whenever the statistics are going to be much more faster reachable, and whenever the statistics are going to be much more accurate, a lot more data, the better, it will be so much easier for the, you know, for the businessmen to predict and so forth. And I was like, okay, well, yeah, that's true. We have this. Like, look at this. Like, with just trucking alone, we got freight waves. I mean, I didn't pull up all of them, but boy, I mean, there's so many different kinds of, you know, predictions that every single load board has. PDP has it on our website. I mean, and if you look into this, I mean, the most accurate one that I was really, really fascinated when it came out was FreightWays. They have, we actually have that integrated into PDP website, and we're building on top of it, or as a foundation on that statistic. They're not that old, actually. This statistics is only, I want to say, 3 or maybe 4 something years old. Yes, and they have a lot of statistics in all transportation, not just trucking. I mean, we're talking about air, ship, train, and actually expanding more and more to do it around the world. So it's very fascinating. And another thing is we have the algorithm that's using their data to predict that map. I mean, it's very common right now to do, but you can pretty much use that PDP map to predict very near future. Okay, you know, the more accurate it is, like for tomorrow or the next day or the day after, at about 80% something accuracy, and then as you go out past you know, 6-7 days, you're down to maybe 20, 30, sometimes 40%. And then when you go out into 2 weeks, you know, that's like 10, 20% accuracy. But still, back then, none of this was available. Okay, none of this was available. And he says, okay, so when, and back then, so back in 1876, what they had was every year they would post, Washington State would post the statistics for the whole year, previous year. And, you know, you're talking about like 6, 7, maybe more months after the harvest already. So after everything's done, you know, the harvest happens around October, November, right? So you would have the statistics sometime in the first or second quarter of next year. And by the time you already kind of know what happened, you know, like, was it good prices? Did you make money? Not? Did you lose your farm? Like, you would already know that because it would have already happened. And then you get the statistics like, oh, okay, yeah, okay, that makes sense. And so, yeah, he says that it was a lot of, you know, it was very hard to do business this way back then. but it would make it so much easier if only we had those two things. And then here today, I'm thinking like, well, we have those two things, but has the business really gotten easier? It feels like we're still kind of frustrated. We're still kind of maybe hit with unknowns, and it's just really, really hard. So why, what, and so forth. And yes, the major thing that I want to point out, I guess what he is pointing out, and based on this book, my observation is we lost focus. Today we are focusing on all the technology, all the data, all the stuff that we have with right now. How many videos or YouTubers and stuff like that have you seen these days say, oh yeah, here's what's going on right now? And everybody is just so zoomed in into what's right now, and that's what making the panic for a lot of people, or why a lot of people can't process and they just quit, or they give up, or they go into depression. But here's the thing, what Banners is saying is that back then, because they did not have those two things, the weather prediction and the statistics right away, because they didn't have those two things, the only thing that they could rely on is this cast iron rule, this average rule. And this is where it gets really, really freaky. Okay, so my wife sends me this screenshot from Facebook. You guys know Facebook's listening, right? And it talks about how this guy predicted this stuff. And I'm just looking at this screen, which, by the way, those of you that are driving, I do plan to send this PDF
after the meeting.
Yes, after the meeting. The PowerPoint, yes. I'm going to send it to you guys because this is so interesting. Okay, but here's the thing. What he's saying is there's patterns to the chaos. Okay? There's patterns to the chaos. And I really want to try to keep this short, okay, because it's really, really deep. But the idea is, what really caught my eye is this 2023 at the bottom. When you look at it, he divides it into 3 different categories. And the very bottom is, it's saying the hard times, the years of hard times. And our 2023 is right here at the bottom. Another thing what was interesting was it's saying that the hype of the next good time, okay, the very top of the next good time will be 2026. And then even before that, if you look at this, he says 2019 was a panic year. Which, isn't that when COVID-19 happened? Or, well, it started actually at the end of 2019, and then, we had the whole country shut down in April of 2020. But it all started in 2019. And then even if you look beyond that, at least when I was born, okay, I'm not too young, guys, but I'm not really as experienced as a lot of you guys. But I was here during 1999, okay? And I remember, we had that stock bubble, and it influenced everybody and everywhere. It was 1999, 2000. But the point is, it was on here. I was like, this doesn't make sense. Okay, this is just, what? This is not possible. How could this guy, predict this? And basically what he's saying is there's patterns, okay? If you do a average, like I was saying, hey, there's 3 major patterns that influence trucking, right? There's the 1 year pattern or cycle. It goes up and down every year, okay? The first quarter always slows down, right after the holiday, and then it gradually picks up. Summer, it goes up, and then it hypes up at the end of the year because of the holidays, and then does the same thing. If you remember every single year in the past, it does that to some degree. Some are worse, some are better, but in any case, the pattern is still there. Then I always said, well, every 4 years, approximately every 4 years, it happens too, right? And then every 8 to 12 years, I said the economy goes up and down. So what I did here, I just basically graphed it all for you guys. Okay, again, you'll be able to see all of this when I send it to you. But long story short, you have the, I didn't put the yearly cycles because it would just make this table too much to read, okay? But I have the 4-year cycle, which as you can see, I'm starting it from 2007, 2006, because that's when I started in trucking, okay? And with cycle number 1 all the way till now, because we're basically starting cycle number 6 right now, you can see the green, right? The green, it goes up and down, up and down, up and down. And it's on average. It doesn't actually do it every 4 years. And sometimes it's longer, sometimes it's less. But on average, it's every 4 years. And I've said that before. But then I was saying, well, the economy cycle goes, up and down probably every 8 to 12 years. And based on this book, Mr. Banner's, he says it's actually between, let me see, between every 3 years, it goes 8, 9, 10, 8, 9, 10, 8, 9, 10. Which is funny because that's an average of 8 to 12 years. And I couldn't put on that, like I didn't realize that the cycles could be of three numbers that are different, but they're repetitive again and again. And then, what's interesting, this graph right here from his book, it might look symmetrical, but if you look at the numbers, it's actually not. Because some cycles are longer and some are shorter. On average, they're all 27 years, but on the bottom over here, you have 8, 7, 11, 8, 7, 11, and so forth. And then at the top over here, or in the middle over here, also 27 years, but it goes 8, 9, 10, 8, 9, 10. And so my point is, and then even at the top here, you got 20, 16, 18. Like the pattern exists. It's just not as, frequent. There you go. Because I was thinking that it's like, what's the average of 8 to 12 years? Well, I mean, it's technically 10. But the reason why I said 8 to 12, because I've seen some that were less than 10 and some were more than 10. So just to make sure. But in here, I mean, my point is, again, you can spend your more time on this if you want to see. But going back to this, I graphed the let me see, the orange line over here that goes up and down, up and down. If you see the screen, Nay? Yes, if you see the screen, the orange line, it goes like it started from 2007. It went down for 5 years. Then it went up. This is per the book. Then it went up in 2012 for 4 years. Then in 2016, it started dropping for 7 years. And then it started going up in 2023 for 3 years. So we will see it starting to go up for 3 years. And a lot of people, well, no, let me finish with this first. Then this dark brown color, it shows the actual United States cycle indicator for the economy. And if you look at it, you pretty much, I have it kind of highlighted or circled over here in green, over here back in 2008, 9, 10, well, no, 9, 10, 11, and then right now where we are in 22, 23. And if you look at it, that's basically when you had all of the cycles at the bottom. They all merged together at the bottom, which the worst time was right here, if you remember, 2009, when the 4-year cycle went down and then the economy was down. Obviously, the first quarter of that year would have been the downturn of that year. So we've seen it much, much lower. And I remember that year. I mean, I was working on construction in Denver, Colorado. And man, like we had absolutely zero jobs. Like there was nothing to do. I mean, we had to survive. We had to figure it out. But back then, I remember I was thinking like, well, you know, this is just some, I don't know, once in a lifetime type of thing, or this will never ever happen again. I mean, and now when we were coming to this cycle now, I started to talk about this even last year, and this is what I was saying. Like in 2022, when I started talking about this, that 2023 will see all of those cycles together at the bottom. You know, we had this cycle from Mr. Banner's book at the bottom. We seen the economy started to go down. I mean, I told you guys that a lot of the politicians, everybody gonna say, oh, everything's fine, but it's all gonna be fake year, you know, and it was in many ways. It started to go down. And then we also seen the first quarter of 2023, you know, the yearly cycle that was also at the bottom. So that was the hardest time since 2000, you know, whenever it was 9-ish or something like that. So that is very, very important to understand because if you know what's going on, if you know, you know, what to, you know, what's going on in the market, you can pretty much, I guess, with more peace, try to go through this and learn from this. And if you, if you master what you're going on right now, you can succeed when it's really good. But I guess my point is this. Some of you might be asking, well, Peter, what about the first quarter of 24? First quarter of 24 is coming up. Yes, the yearly cycle first quarter 24 will most likely be lower. But there's a big but about that. All the other cycles, there's, like I was saying, you know, you got 3 cycles. You don't have all 3 of them at the bottom, which means that we will see next 2024, first quarter 2024 is going to be much better than first quarter 2023. And then first quarter of 2025 is going to be even better than 2023. And then 26 and so on. The next time we will most likely see this, something like this occurrence. Again, it's going to be in the next, you know, well, actually, hold on. According to this, next time we will see this will be 2032. 2032. When all of those cycles will combine together and meet at its bottom. Okay, 2032. And then all of these, you know, crazy shocks or panic years, the next time we will see that most likely in, well, according to this, okay, in 2035. Okay. I'm not gonna, you know, promise you 100%, but let's make a deal. Let's just together sit and watch what happens in 2032 and 2035. And let's get ready for that. Let's prepare for that. Okay? So now put that on the side and let's focus on the near future. Okay? The near future, what he's saying is the next good time is 2026. Okay? Well, some of you will say, well, Peter, if that's the case, I just check out and I'll be back. I'll see you in 2026. Hold on a minute. One of the things that he's talking about is majority of, well, let's just say I changed the language to kind of be more relevant to us, okay, to the truckers. And also he uses a lot of very older language, I guess, or something like that. But it's not King James, but anyway, I'm just trying to be more relevant. And what he's saying in the gist of it is, if I were to translate it to you guys, the truckers, it would say that majority of the truckers with broken down fortunes have become so not by accident, but by dealing bets when prices were on the decline. Okay? I hope that makes sense. Let me maybe rephrase it, okay? Myra, do you understand? Okay, I'm trying to make sure you guys understand this. Basically, the majority of the business owners, they lose their fortune. They go out of business. It's not by accident, okay? It's not by accident. But it's because you're dealing or making bets with prices when they're at decline. Okay? Does that make sense? Myra?
Well, I think it does, because right now, I mean, yes, we are seeing that the rates are not there yet. And we still have guys that are making it, not because they're trying to get more money out of these brokers when they know that they cannot pay more than what they can, but because they have built those relationships to get, you know, the rates that they need or where they need to be during these times.
Well, and let me give you the good news, okay? We're not in decline anymore. That's the point of this meeting, okay? That's the point of why I'm saying to you guys this right now, because I was waiting for this. And last year, we started to go in decline, okay? In the middle, I would say in the middle, but it didn't really pick up until after Christmas. This year, it really started to decline. But just like I told you all, based on more than one source, okay, the equilibrium happened. It happened already. I was hoping that it would happen in summer, early summer. It didn't happen then, okay. It happened somewhere in beginning of the third quarter. I mean, you can kind of debate it back and forth, but it already happened today. And the beautiful thing about this is the trajectory of these markets have been set in stone pretty much from 1876. The trajectory, let me rephrase it, the trajectory cannot be changed, okay? You can have different influence of the prices. You can have fuel prices, politics, wars, like all those different things, they play into it. They will influence the price. But again, nothing will change the fuel, the prices of the rates. Nothing will do that like the supply and demand does. Okay? And the biggest thing that changed this year is the supply and demand reversed. Okay, we used to have too many trucks on the road, not enough loads capacity-wise. It changed, and everybody saw that big time whenever the yellow trucking went out of business earlier this year. I mean, you had a whole bunch of trucking companies just go out of business left and right, and it tightened the market. And then you even had some brokers go out of business. I mean, that also tightens the market a lot for them. So as long as the brokers can, pay its dues, the truckers can pay its dues, the market can reset, and it can start to go upward trajectory. And that's the difference that I'm telling you guys. The good news right now is the trajectory has switched. And if you look at different projections, some of them kind of vary back and forth because, but even today, with all the data, you're not going to get 100% like to the second, okay? But here or there, 1 month, I mean, I'll take that. It's much better than 1876, okay? But based on that, we already seen the equilibrium, and we already seen another thing that's very important is on this graph that I'm showing here, it's not just the spot market that I'm showing, I'm also showing the contract market, okay? And whenever we had the contract rates doing much better than the spot market, it took a toll, a big toll on a lot of owner-operators because, yes, some of you do contract, but a lot of us rely on the spot market. And the reason why we prefer spot market is because when it goes up, we can make much, much better deals than it is with contract. Okay, so it really depends on what your flavor is. But the idea is the equilibrium already happened this year. And now the trajectory is going up. And because of that, the money to be made, some people think, well, I'll just wait until 2026, and that's when I'll get in. Big mistake. This is exactly what a lot of people thought when it came to COVID. Oh, I'll just get in when it was good. Guess what? A lot of truckers went in 2021. Guess what happened in 2021? The prices were through the roof. I mean, you had to buy a truck. It was crazy. $300,000 for some piece of trash. I mean, it was crazy. It was very crazy. But today, you can get much, much better deal on trucks. And this will most likely continue as long as if the market is gradual. It will most likely continue next year and maybe even in 2025. We'll see. But the point is, I have this circle, big circle in, what is that, purple, something light purple. This is where the money to be made. When it's above the 0% something, whatever you want to call it. So this bar that I have that's at 0, whenever it's above that, that's when you can start to make good money. Now, a lot of you will say, well, Peter, but I used to be able to drive back and forth anywhere in the U.S., and I was able to get like $5, $6, and I mean, we actually had some guys do $10 a mile, believe it or not. I can't do that right now. It doesn't make sense. Whenever I look at this PDP website, I have this pulled up, which, by the way, guys, you all have access to this, okay? All of you have access to this. This doesn't make sense, you say, okay? I just don't know what to do. I'm just booking loads. The same lane I was running, it doesn't make sense. Well, yes, it's true. The same thing what you were doing back then in 21, that's probably not a good idea to do that right now. And in fact, I can predict with very, very accuracy that in 2025, 2026, even in 24, even next year, you won't have to do as much of hard work as you do now, because again, because of the trajectory, because it started to go down, nothing can change that now. And it's going to continue to go up all the way till 2026. So the money to be made is now when it's going upwards. And even when it peaks, you have some time before it really drops. It's not true, it's not right to think that you can make only at the top. Look at this graph. Let's just look at the last cycle, right? We have 2021, middle of 2021. This is when the cycle peaked. Right here, I have it in green. What do you think if you start driving at that time, in the middle of 2021? How much will you make? Well, you'll make some good money. But this is a classic story. You hear a trucker brag about how much millions he made, $10 a mile and such. And then all the people are, oh, okay, I'll start my own trucking company. I'll jump in. And they do. And then when they get in, it takes time to get in, okay? You have to get plates, you have to get MC, sign up somewhere. It takes time. And then finally, when you are booking the first loads, you're already into 2022, okay? And then you call up your friend and say, you're such a loser. You lied to me. Why? How could you do that? Click. You're the one who doesn't understand the cycles, okay? It's not correct to jump in at the very height. The best time to jump in is when you know that the trajectory changed, which is now. And yeah, so bottom line, all I'm going to close up on this is, let's see. Yes, I already mentioned that. Okay, this is a good point. You cannot afford to make any mistake or miss any opportunity. Okay? You must take advantage of these cycles. That's actually from the book.
Yeah, Grace Ellis actually sent a message on the chat, and he said they're trying to make big or risky moves during more volatile times. So referring to the previous point before that, right on point.
Yes, yes. So bottom line, all of this, all of these statistics, all the stuff that we have on PDP website, if you look at this, just look at this. I just pulled it up like, I don't know, maybe, yeah, less than an hour ago, before the meeting started. As you can see, we have a lot more green. But I just want to point out, if you're just looking at the green and you're going to go into green, that's not the right way to read this map, okay? There's a right way to read this map, and there's a wrong way to read it. This map right here, or any map like this, you're probably going to see this. Yes,
Nay?
can you please, sir? Nay.
Yes.
Yeah, this map, you can probably see this at other places too. The whole point is, when you read this, you have to understand what it means. Okay, first of all, this is not where the rates are good or bad. No. Okay, the whole point is the system is trying to predict where you have a chance to get better paying loads. It's not telling you that you will have a great paying load. Okay, it's because that's not going to be true for every stage of market. No, it's telling you where is in relevance to present. Okay, today, looking at today, it calculates an index to what it was like in the last couple days or weeks, and it's trying to predict what's going to happen in the next 1, 2, 3 days into the future, at max 7 days. So if you're looking at this map once a month, you're missing the point. You technically, to make it really, really understanding and to make the most out of it, you should be looking at it at least a few times a week. I mean, every day if you can. But the idea is this: wherever you see the green, okay, that's where the market has showed towards your favor, that the index has increased. Okay, it means that the volume, supply and demand, the volume of trucks and the volume of loads, it's towards your favor. The more darker green it is, it means that it has this has been happening for some time now. So if you see some light green, that's good. Okay, it's moving towards that direction, but it's not a good place just yet. And then the very dark ones, oh yes, that's where you want to go, because guess what? There's not enough trucks there already. Because any truck that was there, they're probably gone. So now they need more trucks. And the reason why it's getting even darker is because they can't fill those loads. So yes, you will have better chance at booking better paying loads. The same thing with red. The more darker it is, the worse it has gotten in the last couple days or weeks. And the lighter red it is, it's just starting to go the opposite way, against your favor. Where you see the gray or white, it just means that it's been neutral there. So the idea is for you to book from the green. Try to get out always from the green, and book. You can book into another red, but as long as if that red is very close to the green. And the more darker green, the better, so that you can deadhead going north. So like, for example, a perfect example, if you want to go to Florida, you can book to Florida. But look at this. Do not expect to book a load out of South Florida. You're just never going to happen.
Don't do it.
Yes. But you see that, hey, there's green, a lot of green for vans right here on top. Just go there, drop the load in the red. Don't even look at the loads. Like, don't even waste your time, okay? Just go to the green, because you will be able to book a good load. That's the best way to do it. But if you want to go from green to green all the time, well, you got to be careful with that, because if you go to green to green to green to green, you will most likely have a lesser paying load because the company that is booking from here to there, they will say, well, you can book another load out of there so easy, so we'll just damper your load. Okay, you have to understand how this works. Now, if you remember how these maps looked back in 2021, or how they will look next year, 2024, or the year after, little by little, this will become more green and green. I remember in 2021, the whole map was pretty much green. Sorry. Everything was green. And it was dark too. It was not even a matter of, hey, where's red? No, it was just how dark green it was. Okay? And my point is that that time is coming. Okay? We're going to see that again and again. These statistics on PDP website, we give you statistics, in general, for the whole trending capacity from freight waves. We are working to integrate a lot more into this stuff. There's the PDP supply chain index. It's showing that its trajectory going up too. And then we have some statistics for you that show specifically about you in relations to the whole fleet. Because as you know, we have quite a few trucks, and when you are compared to others, we try to figure out a way on how to do it without, intruding on people, because we want to share and give you more information. Because a lot of time people come and ask like, well, Peter, I'm not doing well. Like, what's going on? Why am I not doing well? And then you can actually look, you can see all of those tabs. If you look at those tabs, it's on your PDP dashboard. Like, look at every single one of them. And then the BTO yearly stats, that gives you a yearly statistics of the whole, comparison to the to other owner operators. It will reset every year. So right now, if you look at right now, we're towards the end of the year. It's probably going to be more accurate. And then in the beginning of the year, the data will have to most likely come in for January or February or something like that before you can see 2024. But the idea is that based on these, you can see where what the market is doing, and you can see how you are doing in relations to other truckers out there. And it's a fascinating thing because we use percentile. It's an ever-changing environment. The better others get, the bar gets risen even more, type of thing. And we use the percentile concept for pretty much everything. But yes, in conclusion, oh my gosh, okay, this is it. In conclusion, okay, I'm done, promise you. The main reason that I'm telling you all of this, okay, and why I've spent a lot of time talking about the markets and all of these cycles and so forth in the past is, number one, because I want you to not be afraid, okay? The main thing that you can do to hurt yourself is fall into depression and just kind of be like, there's nothing I can do. This is how it is. It's somebody's fault. It's the economy. It's the president. It's I don't know. I've had somebody say it's illegals. It's like all of these different reasons why everything is wrong in your life. Well, okay, if you fall into that, the problem with that logic is you will not have a solution. If you want to live in that environment where you cannot do anything about and you're just, what's the word? Like, you have no control over your destiny. Guess what's going to happen? You will have no control over your destiny. I mean, if you fear that, you're going to get it. But I'm here to tell you that the opposite is true. All of these things has happened. Okay? All of them will continue to happen. And the good news that you guys have right now is you're literally at the very beginning of this next 6 cycle. It literally just reset. Okay? We're in November of 2023, just for the record, okay? It's just reset. You literally have all the way till 2024, 2025, 2026, and even probably a little bit when it dips into 2027, okay, to make some good money. But here's the thing though. If you cannot make money in today's environment, looking at this map, and I know that, I see y'all's paychecks, okay? So you can't lie to me on this. Like, I know you can make money, okay? So, and that's the thing. That the hardest thing for me, being as the owner of the fleet, I am trying to see, like, what's the secret sauce? You know, why some make it and some don't. And, you know, the most plain thing that it comes to is, it's not working hard, it's working smart. Okay? You have to understand these things and really, with the market, it's much tighter, but it's still possible to make the money. If you're going to come up with a reason or an excuse why you can't make money, then you're pretty much done. You won't make any money. You just pretty much shot yourself in the foot and you're laying on the ground crying about it. Like, is that going to help you? No. But if you stand up, you get into this and you focus and understand all this, guess what's going to happen? You're going to be that truck driver in 2026 bragging to everybody else at the truck stop, and everybody be like, oh, how can this guy make it such a, seriously, it's that simple. If you can make money right now, you will make the money for sure. Not just make, okay? Because of the discipline, because of the things that you've learned during this market, you ain't gonna waste it, okay? And that's the biggest thing that I've seen a lot of people do in 2021 and any other previous, cycle that was at the up. People just wasted it. I mean, you could book a load, any load, just make stupid money, I'm telling you. And that's not going to last long. You have to work your stamina, your muscles, or whatever you want to call it, to be able to handle the market when it goes up. And the best time to do that is right now. Okay, is right now. So I know that some of you guys are doing it already. Okay, I know that it is possible to do it. So with this said, again, with my final conclusion, it's possible. Don't avoid making yourself excuses, okay? Avoid, the negative people that have those excuses. I mean, if you're gonna have friends that will always talk negative and always come up with reasons why everything's the bad, guess what? Eventually you're going to think that too. When it's not. And that's the thing. When it's not. So take this opportunity to learn and perfect your skill as a businessman. Okay? You can do this. Only you can do this. Okay. Boy, I don't think we have time for Q&A. I'm sorry. But let's just kind of... Has there been anything...
No questions on the chat, no. Just comments. Okay. We probably need to move to Wheel of Names.
Yes. Thank you guys for listening. I'm sorry I took so long. We'll do some questions later. How about that? Just send me the questions over the email if you have anything. Call me. I will be sending this presentation because there's a lot. I mean, it's so interesting, I'm telling you. Yes, and if you have any questions about this, please let me know. I really want to know what you guys think and if you have some other books or some other ideas about this. Okay, yes, we will switch over. We will skip the Q&As and we will switch over to finalizing this. So, yes. Okay, let me open this up. Hold on. Okay, you got all the names?
Yes, I have everyone who mentioned.
So Myra, tell us about this wheel of, what is this about? Yeah.
So the wheel of names, it's pretty much, what we use in order to pick a couple of names at the end of every meeting. This gives you a chance to win $300, and we usually pull 2 names. During the holidays, Peter said that we might be doing 3, so stay tuned for those times, which are pretty much, around the corner. We were just talking about how next week is going to be Thanksgiving. So I hope that everyone enjoys their time with their family. If you're going to be home, if you're going to be on the road, just be careful, be safe,
Eat a lot of turkey.
Yes, that too.
Enjoy.
Yes. And
Yes.
then after that, we're going to be doing the MVO, which, that gives you a chance to win $1,000 if you're on first place. Second place gets $750, and then we have a third place winner for $250. That's always exciting. It's always nice to see, names at the top of the list. I know that everyone is wanting to see if you're there, so we're going to be doing that here in a couple of minutes. So
Yeah, so
don't log off just yet.
Yes, and when it comes to the drawing, everybody's a winner because you all get 3 positive points on your BTO card. So if you don't know what that is, please let us know. We're more than happy to explain it to you. But it's positive points on your BTO card on PDP website, and it comes very, very handy, in the future. But okay, I got the screen ready. Okay, the first winner of $300 is
Omar Reed. Congratulations, Omar.
Omar, congratulations. Are you here, Omar?
Omar.
Do you see him on the...
That's what I'm checking for.
Yes, you have to be here.
Omar Reed, are you here?
Do you need to ask them to? There's a lot of iPhones. Text us. Or, yeah, you probably need to ask them to.
Okay, Sincere. Okay, I just did. Sincere Reed, and that's Omar.
Okay, so he's here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, looks like. Let's do the next name so we can keep on moving. But
Okay.
Omar, we need to hear from you.
Omar, I just messaged you directly.
Okay, so a third winner of $300 is
Bradford Quinn. Congratulations, Bradford.
Bradford,
I
are
know
you here?
he's here. I just saw him. There he is.
Yes, there you go.
I'm gonna invest that in my future.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Congratulations to all.
Yes. Congratulations. So, just so you guys know, on the Most Valuable Operator Award, I am working on another update. Last meeting, we had a very, very good idea to include the logs, and specifically, don't matter if you are ELD exempt or not. And so guess what? I was digging into their API quite a bit, and I finally found it. But it took me a long time to find it because it was really like hidden in there in many ways. But I did find it. So next month, this month is just going to be the way it is. But next month, it's going to include your logs. So this is the first warning, or I don't know, not warning. Announcement. Yes, and we will probably send an email about this somewhere later on when I push the update. But the idea is logs. So I thought that currently with the score that it gives you, that already includes the logs, and it doesn't. Okay, it tracks how safe you're driving.
Behavior.
Yeah, it was driver behavior, but it doesn't actually include the logs, and I was kind of bummed down by that because I thought it was.
We thought that it did.
Yeah, so I want to include that. So yes, that will be coming up, and we will see. What I'm talking about is if you have missing days if you have former manner violations or any violations, it will really give you some negative points. So the people who have all of their logs completely cleared before the meeting, I mean, this is very important, specifically before the meeting, you have the greatest chance basically to win, because it's going to account for a big portion of your math on this. So like when you look at this, let me pull this up. This is the last, can you please show the screen? Yes, when you look at this last time that we did this, on the safety performance, we had logs 30%. So what I was thinking, based on the calculations, to include the score, this ELD driver score, that will be somewhere in the range of maybe, I don't know, 10-ish percentage, give or take. And then the remaining 20% will be the logs. Because I thought that, it's very important that we keep up with the logs. Logs is one of the major things that we're constantly having to work on. And the idea is, again, make sure you don't have any missing days. Make sure you don't have any former manner violations. So I'm talking about signatures, shipping docs, your mileage is good. It has a mileage in there. On the logs, and then your violations like 14-hour rule and 11-hour rule, all of those different rules.
30-minute break. Yeah,
30-minute break, all of that. So, yes, so be watching for that update very soon. Alrighty, so number 3, you get $250, okay? And this is Christopher Ellis. Congratulations.
Christopher Ellis, an angel.
You can show it. The second place is $750. And this is Adam Gentry. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Adam.
And then the number 1 most valuable operator award goes to Arthur Trader. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Arthur.
That's $1,000. All right. So with that said, that concludes our meeting. Thank you, guys. I will be sending that PDF. And remember, the next meeting is on December 11th. Yes, we're going to do it in the middle of the month, before the holidays, December 11th. And that is which day and time?
Monday, 6 p.m.
It's always Monday, 6 p.m.
It's always going to be a Monday. It's always going to be 6 p.m.
Yes.
We try and do it either the second or the third week of the month.
Yes.
No later than that.
Yes. Alrighty. Well, thank you, guys. That's it for today. We bless you. Be safe out there. We pray for you. Yes. And just be safe out there. And then I'll be sending that PDF slideshow in a minute. Yes. If you have any questions, don't forget to send them my way. Thank you.
Thank you.